The gods created borders to keep the world in order. They built walls between the living and the dead, the sacred and the profane. We worship those who stay upon their thrones. But the ancient world knew that the most elusive power belonged to the one who could step across any threshold, break any lock, and vanish before the dawn. Myths and legends. Hermes. He was born in the shadows of Mount Cyllene, hidden in a pitch-black cave, while the Queen of Heaven slept. His mother was the nymph Maya, but his blood carried the restless, unpredictable spark of the King of Heaven. He did not spend his infancy in swaddling clothes. By noon on the day of his birth, the child stepped over the threshold of his cave and found a tortoise crawling in the grass. With an ingenuity as effortless as instinct, he scooped the creature from its shell, scooped out its life, and stretched sheep gut across the hollow frame, inventing the lyre while childhood still clung tightly to him. By evening, his hunger turned toward divine plunder. He slipped into the shadows and tracked 50 cattle from the divine herd of his brother, Apollo. To cover his tracks, he turned the cattle backward, reversing their hoofprints, while sandals woven from fresh tamarisk and myrtle branches concealed his own. He drove the herd into a hidden rocky enclosure near Pylos. Before another dawn had risen, he had offered 2 of the beasts in sacrifice, hid the rest, and returned to his bed, wrapping himself in blankets like an innocent child. When the Lord of Light tracked the thief to the cave, his eyes burned with divine fury. Apollo threatened to throw the divine child into the darkest depths of Tartarus if the herd was not returned. Hermes merely looked up from his blankets, claiming he knew nothing of cattle, having been born only yesterday. The dispute escalated to the high court of Olympus, where the young god stood before the King of Heaven and lied with such charming, effortless grace that the king laughed aloud at his audacity. Zeus ordered the child to lead Apollo to the hidden cattle. As Apollo prepared to claim his herd, Hermes drew forth his hollow tortoise shell and struck a chord. The music that poured from the instrument was so transcendent, so completely alien to the ears of the gods, that the Lord of Music fell silent in astonishment. In a single moment, the thief turned the tables. Hermes offered Apollo the lyre, and in return, Apollo placed the herdsman's whip in his hand and entrusted the cattle to him. He had transformed a crime into a divine treaty, securing his place and his honors among the Olympians. His charm was matched by a cold, quiet lethality when Zeus required an agent who could move unseen. When Io had been transformed into a white heifer, Hera claimed her and placed the captive beneath the watch of Argus Panoptes, a monstrous giant with 100 eyes that never all slept at once. No warrior could approach the beast. No blade could strike before a dozen eyes caught the reflection of the bronze. Zeus called upon Hermes. Disguised as a simple shepherd, the god sat beside the giant in the high pastures, playing soft melodies on a reed pipe and speaking in low, monotonous rhythms. One by one, the 100 eyes grew heavy. Hermes waited until the final eyelid closed, plunging Argus into absolute slumber. In a single silent stroke, Hermes drew a curved blade and severed the giant's head from his neck. He earned the title Argifontes, the slayer of Argus, proving that stealth and patience could overcome a monster that open force could never touch. But this is where the myth changes. The child who crossed every boundary without permission would become the god entrusted with every crossing. Among the Olympians, Hermes was appointed the herald of Hades, the guide entrusted to pass repeatedly between the world above and the kingdom below. When mortal life released its final breath, myth imagined the pale shadow passing into his care. He guided the spirits down the dank and sunless ways, beyond the gates of day and the land of dreams, until they reached the asphodel fields where the shades of the dead endured. He was the patron of travelers, merchants, thieves and heralds, anyone who lived in the spaces between cities, on the open road, or at the edge of night. He wore golden sandals that carried him over sea and earth as swiftly as the wind, allowing him to glide between the clouds and the abyss in a heartbeat. He was the god of the threshold, standing at every crossroads, ensuring that the messages of the universe reached their destination. The wind drops, and the traveler pauses at the boundary. Hermes is the personification of the unseen passage. Life is not made only of places where we stand, it is made of the crossings between them. He is the space between what was and what will be, the spark of luck, the sudden idea, and the shift in perspective that saves us when our walls crumble. We need his myth because he teaches us that boundaries are real, but never entirely sealed or final. He does not erase the boundary, he reveals the hidden passage through it. He is the reminder that power is not found only in sitting on a throne or holding a shield, but in the ability to adapt, to communicate, and to navigate the dark paths when we are lost. He is the guide who promises that even when we step into the shadow of death, we do not walk alone. The messenger of the gods vanishes into the mist, his sandals leaving no footprint in the dust. The road stretches out into the dark, but as the crossroads falls quiet, the ground begins to cool, and a winter frost creeps over the fields. Where a grieving mother wanders through the barren earth, searching for her stolen daughter. Myths are not records of the past. They are mirrors of the human mind, passed down, reshaped, and remembered, long after the world that created them disappeared.